Okay, so how did the band start and how do you define Vanitas today?
So the band I am the progenitor of the band, to put it in a fancy term for some reason. It kind of started as me trying to scout good musicians at my university. As an example, since Jade is present, the way I was trying to find a vocalist who I thought was cool, thought Jade was cool, and then asked her for a singing lesson, and then just basically quizzed her on all of her theory and like singing knowledge during the entire lesson.
He was a little bit sneaky. I didn't know it was an audition. I just thought I'm a singing teacher now. That's my job. But this was back when I was at uni and I was very new to teaching. So I would give like my course mates at uni free lessons just to try and practice my teaching. So I ended up like all the guitarists on my course. I taught most of them singing at some point just to practice. So I was like, yeah, I'll give you a free singing lesson, and it resulted in me kind of going to a band rehearsal, and I joined not Vanitas. So just to confuse things, I didn't join Vanitas. I joined a different band called Verb the Noun, which was our university band that kind of became Vanitas it evolved, and then we rebranded and started fresh as Vanitas once we matured a little bit.
Yeah. And I stopped coming up with terrible names for everything.
Yeah, so what kind of happened is we was gigging as this uni band for a while, and we John was already in the band. Mitch and John knew each other from college. That's our bassist. And then sort of along the way, we picked up Elijah as our guitarist. We got to the point where we started using a lot more orchestral, symphonic elements in our music. We got a little bit more progressive. So we thought, okay, this isn't the same thing anymore. Verb the Noun was very much kind of progressive metalcore without the more symphonic elements.
Yeah.
And so we decided to rebrand. We picked the name Vanitas and rebranded as Vanitas. And then after our debut EP in 2022, our old drummer Mark left, and that's when we got Jackson, our current drummer. And that's the current lineup we have now.
Yeah.
And how would you describe your style to someone who isn't familiar with progressive metal? And what emotion do you aim to transmit through your music?
I'd say if I was to try and describe our music to someone who like has never listened to progressive metal, it's very distorted guitars with like attempts at being intricate riffs, both rhythmically and going blah all the time. And it's very much trying to be like a big, epic, cinematic, kind of almost filmic vibe at times.
I'd say like the kind of music we make, particularly like our, I guess, flavor of prog metal with symphony. The best way I can sum it up to people is boss battle metal.
Yeah.
Like you're playing a video game, you're fighting the boss battle, whatever song is in the background, that, but metal.
Very power prog of us.
Yeah, and I would say like the emotion I'm always trying to convey, at least with my vocals and in my lyrics, is, you know, I write a lot about hardship and overcoming hardship and feeling hopeful. Most of my emotions in my lyrics, they kind of fall into one of two categories, which is either we can get through this, hopeful kind of lyrics, or really angry, sad lyrics where you can kind of just let the rage out and be cathartic. So I'd say kind of just really like emotional therapy through music, talking about experiences, mental health, and injustices in the world, sort of using music as an outlet for that, I guess, which I guess that's what most artists are trying to do in some way or another.
Progressive metal is a technically demanding genre. What are the biggest creative and production challenges when working on your music?
Oh, this is definitely
that's a spicy one.
He mixes and masters well, we did work with other people in the past, but at the moment, Mitch mixes and masters all our songs.
Yeah, I produce our things.
But shout out to Matt Jones from The Keeses, as he previously mixed and mastered some of our tracks, and he's also our orchestral programmer. So all the orchestra you hear from Vanitas is very much a collaboration, sort of led by Matt, really, where Mitch and Matt kind of share ideas, and then Matt fleshes out the whole orchestral parts of our songs, and he's amazing at it, by the way.
Creatively, I'd say the absolute most challenging aspect of being creative with this sort of like genre is creating stuff that's like technically challenging, not all over the place, and melodic. Like there's a lot of like, if I pull out a song example, our song of Ventum, there's a really good riff in that I think kind of demonstrates, because it was a really hard riff to come up with, and I kind of heard it in my head. It's the Ventum's a really weird structure song. There's a really shreddy, like very guitar focused riff just before the second chorus of that song. Yeah,
that bit.
And that took me forever to write, because it's really hard to come up with something that's, I don't want to say technically impressive, because I don't view it as that hard, but like something that's a bit more technical and notey, and like, but not so much that it kind of goes into like that tech death, a million notes a minute, and like there's no real clear melody.
I think to summarize what Mitch is trying to say, as a prog metal band, it's really easy to just do technical for the sake of technical, and that, I don't think that serves anybody. And when you're writing music, you want to serve the song. So regardless of the genre, regardless of the conventions of that genre, you want the song to sound good and make people feel things, and that should always be, I think, the most important thing. So I guess it's balancing that with also being musically expressive, so that you get a good balance of both.
I'm still making everything very melodic. And then production challenge wise, because we decide to be silly and symphonic, our mixes are ridiculous.
Many tracks.
I'm talking, I quad track guitars, so there's at least 4 guitar tracks at all given point. We quad track vocals.
Well, we double track and then we quad track choruses.
Yeah.
If we're being specific.
Oh no, I'm just giving an example.
Okay, sorry.
We quad track vocals. We double track all the vocal harmonies. You know, there's a lot of drum miking going on. And then the orchestral elements come along, and there's like 50 different tracks.
For the orchestra.
It's like, I commonly have to deal with like 80 to 90 tracks.
Would you say that's the minimum?
That's like the minimum, and normally, like, you know, with most bands mixes, you're probably going to look at like 20, 30 tracks max. And I'm just looking at like, oh, here we go, I've got 80 to just work on. And then making all of that clear and obvious in the mix without making the mix sound like there's a million things going on is a horrendous challenge.
You've basically just given him an opportunity to vent. But you can't, we kind of also did this to ourselves, so we like a challenge.
To mention our latest single, Nobody, the bridge on that before the breakdown was horrible, because there's a lot of symphonic layers going on that are like subtle and blend in, and then there's 3 different acoustic guitar parts going on because I decided to be mean to myself. And like acoustic guitar is horrible to mix at times, so I was like, yeah, let's put a really horrible to mix instrument in a section full of orchestra that'll really subtly blend but also be horrible to make obvious. Like, that's a classic example of, oh god, what have I done?
I think as a band I've realised like we're a glutton for punishment. Like I write vocal parts that are really hard to sing, and often between me writing them and tracking them in the studio is kind of when I learn how to actually do it, and then I've got to relearn it again for live shows. Mitch often will write, well, we pretty much write always on like Guitar Pro, so he'll often write riffs he can't play yet.
Yeah.
And then we'll, you know, when we're producing the songs, as he said, it's ridiculous. It's just, we just make it hard, and as much as I would say, oh, I don't know why, I think it's because we just don't want to be limited by our ability. I guess we want to just write what we want to write, and then we'll figure out how to do it. When
it comes to like sections that I've wrote physically on guitar, I could probably make it out. I could probably count them on my hand. They're either Guitar Pro or I'm writing them on a piano and going, that'll probably sound cool on guitar, so I'll just roll with it.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a very long answer.
No, it's okay. Your concept seems very visual and narrative driven. To what extent do image and music develop together in your work?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. So I would say like the visuals and the narrative in our music videos and look definitely kind of is inspired by the music and the lyrics first, and then it's just sort of kind of tangents off from there. So like I'll use Nobody as an example because that's our newest song, and when I wrote the lyrics I wasn't necessarily thinking about the visuals to begin with. I just try and like write in the moment of what I feel and then figure out the rest later. And it's an angry feminist song. And I wrote it after basically getting like some horrible online comments about my body and just comments that are just derogatory and horrible towards women. And then that kind of paired with like what's going on in the world right now. I was just feeling very like sick of these men in power that have no idea what it's like, just telling you what to do, what to do with your body. And then it came with that line in the chorus, like, what gives you the audacity? Why do you think you have any form of authority to speak on another woman's body or freedoms and how they want to live their life? And the whole song kind of developed from there. As for the visuals for the song, a big part of the breakdown is the I will feast on your disease, she will feed, those lines. And that was about, I had comments about my body. I have a bigger body. I'm very aware of it. I'm okay with it. But some people like to comment on it, right? So I thought, oh, well, you think I'm so fat? Well, I'll eat you then. And then I made a more sophisticated version of that in the breakdown. And then I thought, okay, that could be a really cool visual. So I had this idea of like predator and prey and the idea of flipping the narrative on its head. So the idea that the predator's this big hunk, this big man, and the prey is the vulnerable woman, right? But we're going to flip it on its head. So then I thought, well, what works well with this? Monsters. And I was listening. The music inspired that a lot. I asked Mitch, like, if we're thinking of music video ideas, Mitch, what does the song make you think of? And he said, oh, well, I kind of wrote the verse of like a big monster stalking around. So that inspired the lyric, the sort of, he likes Godzilla. They're stalking the town, man on the prowl. So I thought the comparisons of the man being this like monster with no sort of inhibitions and just stomping around trying to own the place, but then the woman being more calculated in her stalking, right? So then I thought, we like fantasy, we relate things to fantasy a lot. Red Riding Hood, and that was where the music video came in. So we thought, let's do Red Riding Hood and the werewolf, but we're going to flip it on its head, and the werewolf is being hunted by Red Riding Hood. And that's kind of when the music video really came to life in its idea. So when you watch the video, the idea is that you're meant to think at the start that the werewolf is hunting Red Riding Hood, but then you sort of realise as she walks around with the bow and arrow, it's the werewolf being hunted, and then the breakdown, she catches the werewolf and she eats him, and then it kind of just all then ties together. And I get to kind of like really let my imagination run wild with these visuals and music videos, and I get a lot of help from the boys as well. I'm definitely the person going oh with a million ideas, but these guys kind of then ground me and like reshape it all together. We've done similar things with other songs in the past, and I just love taking this personal experience and then turning it into this whole fantasy world is what we try and do.
I'm sorry you have to go through those comments and bad things.
I mean, I think unfortunately, like, it sucks. Yeah, it does. But it's much bigger than me. And I can't think of a single woman in the metal industry that I've spoken to that hasn't experienced this in some form. So the idea of writing it into a song is it helps me express my emotions. But I think more importantly, like when you release a song into the world, it's not yours anymore. It's the audience's. And I hope that the lyrics help women feel empowered, like they can fight back. And I hope the men enjoy the song too and kind of realise the severity of the issue. And that's sort of my hopes from that song. And I guess people will have to let me know if that's how they interpret it.
And how is your songwriting process? Does the conceptual idea come first, or the riffs and the atmosphere?
I think I spoke a lot about my lyrics there. It's definitely like a mix of both. I will take inspiration from normally Mitch is our sort of lead songwriter, so I'll take inspiration from what he's written musically and then pair it with kind of whatever I'm feeling in that moment or whatever I've been thinking about recently. And you can definitely speak a bit more on your inspiration musically.
So generally what will happen to start a song is I will spontaneously get an idea that I think is vaguely cool or interesting in my head, and I'll sit at my computer and be like, all right, let's write this on Guitar Pro or try and work this out on good old Reaper, the DAW of choice. And then I will just sit there, and it might turn into like a 30 30-minute, I wish, 30-second section. I might come out with like a minute and a half, and I will slam it into our WhatsApp group chat and immediately demand everyone's opinion on it.
He does.
And then over like the next couple of weeks, or if I'm feeling really lucky, in the week that I write it, I'll like flesh it out, and then I'll throw it at Jade and be like, "Can you write vocals, please? Here's this stupid thing I wrote. Write vocal now."
It's normally like either Mitch or John will kind of formulate the basis of a song, some riffs, some ideas. We'll kind of bat it back and forth between Elijah Jackson or whoever else to get it fleshed out, and then it comes to me at the end when it's ready for vocals, and I'll sit and do. I do tend to do most vocals and lyrics kind of sat alone in my bedroom, but then I will share my ideas with the boys, make any tweaks in the demos.
Yeah,
that's how it kind of comes together, really.
Atmosphere can also play a decent part. Like there's a few songs where I was like, I have an image in my head and I want to soundtrack that image, if that makes sense. So like Behind the Mask, for example, the intro riff of that was kind of like a big Eastern battle vibe. That was kind of inspired by me watching Warhammer fantasy videos of these big lizard men whacking each other. And like, songs just happen like that sometimes. I will see something and then that makes me want to write something that makes me think of that. Like I sometimes, not all the time, but I get like quite visual with songs sometimes. And I just like imagine a visual and then I'm like, okay, I want to create what that visual sounds like. I kind of stole it from Mick Gordon, who used to write the Doom soundtracks. He's done interviews where he talks about like seeing concept art and then trying to interpret concept art through music. And I was like, that's really cool. I'm going to do that. And then it just became a natural part of my songwriting process, I think.
Yeah.
And their music has a very cinematic sound, as you said. Do you approach its release as part of a larger story?
Oh, good question. We have like some songs are definitely kind of standalone. Like nobody, I would say. Oh, I shouldn't maybe say that, should I?
Well, I don't know.
I've done it now. Nobody is a standalone thing. But like Journey to the Sun, I think is the most like it's a concept EP, and we've never done that. We've done that in like themes before, but Journey to the Sun, we definitely took it further than we ever have before. And the concept, it was definitely sort of driven originally by the lyrics, and then we sort of paired it with the music videos and the narrative to create this whole story. And the story of Journey to the Sun is the idea of finding the sun being a metaphor for your happiness, and sort of going on this journey throughout the songs, ending on the EP ends on Solaire, which is the kind of method of Solaire is you've reached your destination, we've found the sun, and we're going to bask in the light and feel happy again. And we really tie that together with this concept in the music videos of a fortune teller and a cult that worship the sun, and the fortune teller sort of throughout the music videos guiding them where to go next to find what they're looking for. And if you watch our Journey to the Sun music videos, you'll notice it's bookended. So every music video starts with the fortune teller and ends with the fortune teller, and it reveals the next card is the next song. So when we was releasing the EP last year, we was like gradually dropping each single and sort of leaving little Easter eggs for people to find. And some people did pick up on them and sort of go, oh, I know what the next single's going to be. And it was just a nice little sort of, like I said, Easter egg trail that we thought we'd leave for fans. And the people that like the music can just listen to the music, and then the people that want to nerd out and go deeper, because we're all big nerds ourselves, so we like to kind of make things filled with lore and story, they've got plenty of opportunity to do so.
Oh yeah, like being nerdy is paramount to this band, I think.
Yeah, we're all big nerds.
I mean, something that I just realised I should have mentioned in the last question, just to add on to it very quickly. Another example that's related to the nerdiness is our song Queen of Nowhere. Its demo name was Nameless King because in my head it was a soundtrack to the boss battle of the Nameless King in Dark Souls 3.
Our song Solaire is a sort of nod to the character Solaire
from Dark Souls.
And the whole like praise the sun thing is from the games. And we literally this entire like tour last year, the amount of people that have come up to me and just gone, praise the sun from that EP and from Dark Souls is incredible. I love it.
Sorry to go back on the previous questions. Just mentioning Solaire made me go, I should have mentioned that, because that's like another cool songwriting thing I do.
But that's really
cool.
interesting. Being a nerd is a really good thing.
Thank you.
Oh, God, yeah.
And what can you tell us about Journey to the Sun and its main message?
Oh, I mean, I feel bad because I've sort of jumped the gun on some of your questions and just blah, 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 and said them already. But no, I can sort of elaborate.
You're here to talk, so you can say whatever you want.
Well, I've made my whole career around talking and singing because I can't shut up. So I may as well use it. But yeah, Journey to the Sun. I mean, I know I talked a little bit about it, but like most of my lyrics, it's kind of about overcoming hardship. And the EP takes the listener on that journey, and I want them to interpret it for themselves. So it opens with Eclipse, which is about you've got a long battle ahead that you're going to fight, and you'll never know if you never go. That's the lyrics in the chorus, and it's this idea of if you've got something scary, a dream you want to go for that you're holding back from, then you need to try, because if you fail, at least you can say you've tried. And that's the real message of the song. And it ties into, really, when I reflect, the EP is kind of about the band as a family and our journey to grow as a band and sort of just try our best to make it in the music industry, I guess, and just do what we can, but also in kind of wider life. So Eclipse sets the scene where you're going on this journey. And then Lucid Dreams is sort of about daydreaming about what it could be and how life could get better. And it's also kind of talking about my own experience with actual lucid dreams and having all these vivid nightmares, but also feeling anxious and just wanting to sleep life away so that you don't have to deal with it. And then we progress to Your Demise, which is then like the first big obstacle in the story, where in your demise, you're fighting against the toxic people in power that might try and hold you back. It's another angry feminist song, is Your Demise, if you're into that stuff. And then we travel through it, we get to Behind the Mask, which is about, again, feeling comfortable to be yourself. I think it's no secret, we talk about it a lot, that as a band we're very neurodivergent, and that means that sometimes we miss social cues.
I am fueled by autism.
He gets fueled by autism. I am probably too. I haven't got an official label yet, but it's quite obvious to all my friends and family. And essentially it's about sort of trying to drop the mask, the social mask that you have to wear, and be your true self, and that's what Behind the Mask is about. And then we sort of takes you back to what I was saying earlier, where the final track of the EP, Solaire, is you've overcome all of this hardship, you've got there, and even if you have had a tough time or you're feeling down, the sun will shine again, and you'll have those happy times. And so we sort of wanted to leave the EP on a brighter note. Some of our other EPs have been quite dark, and we wanted Journey to the Sun to be a bit more hopeful. And a bit more, again, it's like a battle. You're fighting a battle, the battle is life, and so everyone can kind of interpret the songs and the lyrics to their own struggles, and hopefully it helps them get through the day.
It's a very beautiful message.
Thank you.
And what are your main musical influences or influences outside of music?
I'll let him start.
That's
This interview is going to be twice the length now you've asked that question.
I will try and I'll give 5, not in any necessary order, and say why. Dream Theater is like, I say I won't order them. Dream Theater is my #1 biggest influence, because like they got me into music. Their like eclectic nature of their music and how diverse it is like so appealing to me. And like, I don't know, they kind of showed me that music. At that point, I'd heard technical music and it was just super technical, like, Through the Fire and the Flames. And then I heard Dream Theater, and like, I think the very first song I ever heard from theirs was Off Black Clouds and Silver Linings, called A Nightmare to Remember. And that song's really heavy, really dark, but then, it's 15 odd minutes long, I think. And it just takes an absolute journey. And I was like, 1, I've never heard music this incredible. 2, I've never heard songs go through such vibes. And 3, holy, they've done a 50-minute song. What is this? 2, I would say I will blame good old Nobuo Uematsu, who does the Final Fantasy soundtracks.
Thanks, Nobuo.
Because Periphery reference though, because their work is just like it's incredible. I think everyone who's like ever played Final Fantasy knows the little opening arpeggio that's in every game that's just like tweaked a little bit to match the vibe of the game. 3, I'd probably say a band called Periphery, who are like, I mean, they're just like gent gods. I don't know how to put it.
Gent gods.
You know, they kind of have that technicality of Dream Theater, but with the heaviness in a different way. It's like a different flavouring of my love for Dream Theater. If Dream Theater's salt, Periphery's pepper. If that makes sense. I like my food analogies. And on a similar vein, Queen. Queen
I was waiting for Queen.
Yeah.
I was waiting. It's always
Queen
the top one for you.
Are a gigantic influence. You know, I grew up on Queen. You know, I heard all the radio hits, like, you know, Radio Gaga, We Will Rock You, stuff like that. But then as I got older and, like, discovered prog rock and prog metal and, like, really deep dived into Queen, there's so many, like, they're a prog band in my eyes, Queen. Like, the old songs, like a Prophet song and stuff like that, where they're, like, 8 minutes long, they're really experimental. There's like a 3-minute vocal solo.
He's been trying to get me to do a long vocal solo because of that song. He's like, oh, well, Queen did this 3-minute vocal solo, and I think you should.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Sure, one day, you've got it immortalized in this video. One day I will do a vocal solo.
Yeah.
In some Vanitas song somewhere, like an a cappella vocal solo. I'll make it work somewhere.
Yeah, like it's just a full-on a cappella vocal song. And I've got so many songs like that where are really experimental. And they're prog also in the way, like, you know, they invented completely new recording techniques, like a song called Ogre Battle that basically no one knows from Queen. And they wanted a really weird guitar effect, so they recorded the guitar riff in reverse and then flipped the tape so that it sounded like all the notes were swelling in and was really weird. And the 5th one, this always changes based on who's inspiring me at the moment to want to do music. But at the moment, and it has been for a while, a band called Seven Spires.
Ah, I just know who you think I'm going to be. I love Seven. Yeah. Same. I love
Seven Spires. Like, they are like, whenever I hear their music, I'm like, God damn! I wish I wrote this for Vanitas. I do that so much with their stuff. They are incredible.
I mean, my answer is going to feel like I'm copying him now because we do overlap in our influences quite a bit. But I mean, the biggest one we share, I would say, is definitely Periphery. I am biggest Periphery fangirl. I love them. I've been following them since I was a teenager. Spencer Sotelo is just kind of everything I want to be as a vocalist. It's about, for me, being able to express my emotions through all the techniques. Like, I want to be able to do clean singing and scream singing and everything in between. A song's boring to me if it doesn't have a good mix of techniques and things in it, and I think it's more expressive that way, where I can thanks Mitch, I can belt, you know, I can do belty stuff, I can do like soft singing, I can go straight to like a feral scream, and I just like that ability to play around, and Periphery are really good at that, and it's just the music makes me feel things a lot, like, and that is my biggest drive. I think any type of music I'm drawn to is intense. I like intensity in the emotions, in the dynamics, you know, and Periphery just kind of tick all those boxes for me. Seven Spires, I would agree. Like, they're more recent for me. I'd say like I've only really discovered them the last year and a half, and I wasn't aware of. I forgot how I found them actually.
It was. Discovered Seven Spires on complete accident. Like, I think they were just like a random YouTube pull.
Right.
It was Architects of Creation that just came up, and I clicked on it purely because of the thumbnail. Then as soon as I heard that song, I was like, I need to show everyone I know this now.
Yeah, and then well, me included, and I sort of got into them.
Oh wait, can I just add on to the Seven Spires thing?
You can't.
I went as far as every time I was dropping off a band member from rehearsal, I would basically lock my car when we got to their house and was like, "You're listening to this."
That sounds way worse. That sounds like you held them hostage.
Yeah, they were willing. They were willing, but I was like, "Right, I want to show you this song. I want to see your reaction," and I put on "Love Souvenir."
Yeah. Oh, and then we got to see them do it a lot. Like, I'm very grateful to say I've seen Periphery live twice now, and we got to see Seven Spires live last year. And we volunteered. Quite often we work at a festival called Power Metal Quest Fest. We want to play it one day, please. But we've been volunteering at that festival for I think 3-4 years now, and Seven Spires were on the lineup, and we was like, oh my god. And he was working tech on the stage, so we got to like kind of chat to them a bit, and I got a photo.
They're also
not to fangirl so much, but they were really nice.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice as all hell people.
And I just think like the kind of music we do, we're sort of in a weird middle point where we're like sometimes too heavy for the symphonic power metal world, and they don't like the screams, but then we're like not, you know, chug breakdown enough for some of the more metalcore audience, but we definitely sort of neatly fit in a lot of different spaces. And to see a band like Seven Spires kind of traverse those different lines and do it so excellently, I wouldn't say we're like exactly like them, but we definitely fit in a similar sort of niche. It's just really impressive and kind of proves that there's a good audience for it. And then you can
gig with them on.
That would, yeah, like bucket list would be to gig with them, and Periphery as well. They're again, like they are the godfathers of well, I guess people would argue Meshuggah, but for me, like they are the kind of one of the top bands in the sort of style of music we do, and it would just be a dream come true to go anywhere near them. So definitely those bands. Another big influence for me is Incubus, which is a more left field one, but growing up, like they got me into more experimental music and especially heavier music. It was one of my mum's ex-boyfriends, which was just like, listen to this, and like put on the Science album. And most 12-year-old girls are like obsessing over, but 12-year-old girl like me, I would just loop the Science album non-stop for hours on end. And it's particularly Nebula off the Science album. I'll just loop it again. I would listen to it for like 2 hours straight. That's a big one for me. So yeah, I mean, there's tons of other bands. We could be here all day, but
you haven't even mentioned Tenacious D.
I haven't mentioned. Sorry, I have a session with like Jack Black specifically, and his vocal delivery. Just he can sing a song and get the lyrics completely incorrect, and you will still know what song it is, and that's so impressive.
And
I love it.
Andy from Monuments.
I'm getting to that.
Sorry.
Monuments is a big influence of mine as well, especially Andy Sizek, the singer. Again, like I just look up to a lot of vocalists that are really technical and impressive in what they do. But this is what I mean. Like I don't want to like harp on about the technique, you know, the technique. It's not about that. It's about the emotions that they're able to convey in their music. I love lyrics, and lyrics are very important, of course. But I'm always a melody first kind of gal, and if it's gibberish, but it's like emotional gibberish, I can get behind it just as much as some good lyrics. Really, it's about the abstract sort of feeling it creates. And that was a really long answer, so I could go on, but I'm gonna stop myself. Mitch threw his phone on the floor.
I dramatically threw my phone on the floor.
Oh. So, there you go.
And how do you see the current progressive metal scene in the UK?
Oh, well, it's thriving. Yeah. Like, just to speak about the wider metal scene, we're from Birmingham, which, if you didn't know, is called the home of heavy metal because of Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne coming from Birmingham.
And Judas Priest.
Oh yeah, you can't forget Judas Priest. There's a million bands at Birmingham. And I'm a adopted Brummie. I'm originally from sort of Nottingham, Derby area in the UK, and I moved here for uni, where I met this one, as we sort of discussed earlier, and I've been here ever since. The rest of the band are all sort of from around the Black Country, Birmingham area, and then you got Elijah from Coventry. So Birmingham is the home of metal, and there are more metal bands than I can even begin to count in the Birmingham metal scene, and they're all absolutely killing it. You've got so many like amazing upcoming bands, like I know like Blood Sugar, for example, that I know you interviewed before, are just absolutely killing it right now. I mean, I could be here all day, but
yeah, and then like the prog metal sphere, like bands like Kairos.
Big up Kairos,
stuff like
Iberius. Yeah, and then of course you got like Dekesis.
Yeah, there's just like a million bands at the moment in the best way.
Yeah, the UK prog scene is thriving, and I think like one of the biggest homes for the UK prog scene is you've got Radar Festival and Arctangent Festival, who are really uplifting those sort of scenes, especially in the UK. And there's just like a really kind of wholesome community in that scene as well. Like I've had overwhelmingly positive experiences with most bands we've gigged with and spoken to, and there's just a real sense of community, and people are sort of excited about each other's music, and it's a great place to be, I think, and I'm glad glad to be a small part of it.
And how do you see the scene in all Europe?
Oh, Europe. I mean, I from what I see, I listen to quite a few like non-UK bands, and from what I can see, it's popping off there. I know that our style of music is particularly popular in places like Germany and like Scandinavian countries, so we'd love to kind of get there one day. We get loads of comments, be like, when are you in Germany? When are you? And it's like, we're such a tight, like, I think people see the Instagram follower count and think we're this big band, but we're not. We're completely independent, no label. Everything we do is us. Like every social media post, it's me on my phone. Every mix and master, it's him. The merchandise we print ourselves with a heat press and pack and ship it ourselves. It's all us. And so we all kind of...
Yeah, the artwork, the merch design.
Yeah, we do it all ourselves. And we're not from any form of... Well, we definitely have some privilege compared to other people, but we're not from any form of privileged background financially. We're a very working class band. No one in our family is musical. So we're kind of doing this however we can. I spend all my disposable money on this band. And so the Europe metal scene is amazing, and I'd love to break into it. But it's more of a financial thing, really. If we get an offer, we will be there. We will make it. I don't care how much it costs me. I will make it work. So I will do as many side jobs and hustles to afford a European tour as I need to. But what we need first is kind of a solid offer to make it possible. So if any bands need a support act for their tour, or any European festivals want to give us a chance, hello. Hi. We'd love that. My small experience is I was really lucky, and there was this awesome band called Fury that you may have heard of, and they're kind of like new wave of British heavy metal, and I used to do backing vocals for them with their current co-frontwoman Naya, and they graciously invited me to Switzerland, so I got to play UR Rock Festival in Switzerland with Fury as their backing singer for 2 years in a row. And there's a lot of love for music in the UK, but they don't fund it like in Europe. Whereas in Europe, from what I gather from kind of speaking to them and experiencing it briefly myself, that there is like so much support for artists. It's a given that you are given food and drink and a place to stay, which is not the case in the UK. Like most of our gigs, it's here's the back corridor, put your equipment and go warm up here. Whereas it's like standard that you get dressing rooms and stuff in a lot of places. Again, I might be wildly incorrect. Correct me in the comments. Again, I don't have too much experience here, but that was just my experience in Switzerland, at least. I've completely tangented from the original question, but the point I'm making is, like, we'd love to get to Europe one day, and the metal scene seems really fucking strong over there.
Yeah.
And if someone discovers Vanitas today, which song would you recommend them to listen to first, and why?
Oh, that's a toughie, because 3 jumped to my head.
Go on.
I can't say all 3 though.
Why not?
Oh.
Quick fire. Song, reason why.
Ultimately, I would probably introduce someone to Eventum first.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I didn't expect that one.
I know what you were expecting, but it's too long, realistically.
Okay.
If I was being sensible, I'd recommend Eventum, because it's a song that condenses everything I think Vanitas is into a sub 5 minute package. If I was saying purely what I would recommend, there is a song of ours called Ghosty Coast. And
I was waiting for.
it is like my magnum opus in my head.
It was Ghostly Coast was our first ever release back in 2022. It's a 7-minute song. We was being extremely cocky releasing a 7-minute single as our first release, but we honestly just didn't really know better back then.
I just didn't care. I thought it was sick.
No, we just was like, we really want to release the 7-minute song. And we have an in-joke in the band about Mitch and Ghostly Coast, because every gig, every time we're discussing like the plan or releases, it's, oh, well, Ghostly Coast. Like, he cannot let it go. It's his little baby. It is a great song. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But we just like making fun of Mitch.
One of our best in my head. Like my top 5 Vanitas songs. Quick fire.
You said 3. Now it's 5. Make your mind up.
I know. I just said my two that I tell people to listen to, but like Ghostly Coast, Queen of Nowhere, Behind the Mask. I've already said Aventum and Lucid Dreams.
All right.
They're like my top 5 Vanitas.
Now I'm gonna start it off with, of course, go listen to our new single Nobody, because it's the recent evolution of Vanitas. It's definitely our most heavy single yet. So, I'm pushing you over there.
Me around.
If you're, I think we've got a little bit of something from everyone. If you're on the heavier side of stuff, go listen to Nobody. If you're more on the sort of symphonic, dramatic side of things, not controversial, but lesser known Vanitas song, go check out Between Loon and Eden. It's very much like, sounds like it could be an anime opener, and it's a love song. And we only have one love song, and it's that one. So,
I argue it's the most power prog we've ever been.
If you haven't gathered, we're a couple. If you're wondering why I'm like doing this and stuff, so
I don't know who she is.
who's this woman in my bedroom?
She's just here.
I've been here for 5 years, Mitch.
She just forced me on an Instagram live stream. I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, so Between Loon and Eden is a lesser known song of ours. I think it's really, really lovely. And again, it's got those highs and lows. It's got those pretty peak moments, and it's got those brutal screaming and stuff as well. So that one. And then, I'm trying to purposely name ones you haven't named.
Also, our first 8-string song, Between Loon and Eden.
Oh,
it
yeah,
doesn't sound like a stereotypical 8-string song.
It's an 8-string song, but it does not sound like an 8-string song. And then I would say, I've said Nobody, said Between Loon and Eden. As a third one, I've got to shout out Solaire again, because again, I feel like it's hard sometimes to write metal songs that are really happy, and I think Solaire is a really happy metal song. But it's also like, it's not just happy, it's bittersweet. And I literally, if I think about it too hard, I could cry whenever I listen to Solaire. That's kind of a lot because of my personal connection to the song and the lyrics. I didn't mean that in an egotistical way, but it goes through all of those motions, and I love it.
The chorus is also probably one of the most fun riffs to play, because it has a dumb, fun moment in it. A little where I get to flick a trem bar.
He loves flicking trem bars. He loves dive bombs.
Dive bomb.
We have that's the other thing we bully him for as well. Oh, Mitch has put a dive bomb in a song. What a surprise.
Yeah.
And finally, do you have any people who will be discovering you through this interview?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh.
So I would say, hi, thanks for listening to us yap for so long, because as you can see, we've got plenty of yap in us. We are Vanitas, and we make boss battle music, also known as progressive symphonic metal. If that's your thing, come listen to us. We've got our brand new single, Nobody, out now. If you'd like to join the community, we also have a Discord server and a Patreon where we chat with our fans and share exclusive behind-the-scenes things too.
I'll add on, if you want to be super cool, and comment the first time you ever heard of Sonic the Hedgehog and your favourite Sonic game, if you know.
He loves Sonic the Hedgehog. That's very unrelated. Also, we do lots of live shows, so check our page. We've got plenty of dates across the UK this year. So check us out. Maybe come catch us at one of our UK dates. If you're not in the UK, I'm so sorry. We're not quite outside of the UK yet. But if you want us to be, comment our name on your favourite European festival and be like, oh, it'd be cool if you booked Vanitas, and we'll try.
And introduce all your friends to us, because the more people, the more pull we have on promoters to be like, hey, look, we have this fan base in your country, in your city. How about you book us to come?
Okay, we went on too long. TLDR. Hey, we're Vanitas. Thanks for checking us out. Listen to our new single, Nobody, and we'll see you either on our Discord or at a live show. Thank you. I thought I'd do a short version, so if you want to cut it down and edit it, you can. Sorry.
It's been a very promotional.
Okay.
I just said the Sonic thing because I was like, interaction farming.
Thank you so much. Sorry?
I was just
Oh.
reacting to him, sorry.
Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much. Sorry you went on for so long. I don't know if that was longer or shorter than your average, but thank you so much. And it was lovely to meet you. And I look forward to seeing the interview. Hopefully it wasn't too unhinged.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope to see you at any show someday.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll let you know.
I'm in Spain, but if it's at another country, it's okay.
Oh, well, we'd love to come to Spain. We'll see if we can make it work. But if we get any sort of offer, as we said, we'll go for it.
Yeah, I'd kind of love to go to Spain because I hear so much about the country. Like, one of my co-workers used to live in Seville. I'm pretty sure it's...
Isn't he from Seville?
Yeah, like he was born in Seville. Is it Sevilla? Is that how you pronounce it?
Sevilla.
Yeah. I know that from him, thankfully. But yeah, like he used to live there, and like I hear so much about the place, and like I want to proper explore there one day.
It's one of the most beautiful cities in this country, but it's really, really hot.
I love hot countries. Like, everyone thinks because I'm a metalhead, like, oh, you must love the cold in the winter. Like, no, I'm a summer girl. I love hot places.
Oh,
what would you say? I like some
winter.
Oh, really? Opposite. We need to swap countries then. It's been raining here every day. It's horrible.
Yeah.
What would you say are like some good metal festivals near where you are?
We've got the biggest one is called Resurrection Fest in
I've heard
Galicia.
of that. I've heard of that one.
And we've got Leyendas del Rock in Villena.
Oh, okay. I have to check that one out.
Nearer my town. And we've got in Cartagena, we've got Rock Imperium Festival.
Oh, I will have a look at those. I'll have a nosy. But I've heard of Resurrection Festival. That one I know of already.
That one is the biggest.
Okay.
But there are too many keys. For example, was in Cartagena.
Yeah.
So they are all big, but the Galicia one is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time as well. I hope we didn't go on too long.
No, it's okay. The thing is, I've got to be very attentive because of the language and
yeah. I'm sorry. I get excited and then I talk fast, and I'd apologise if we spoke
there was a moment
too fast.
where I debated explaining what a brummie was because I was
the
moment had passed.
No, but I understand you better than I thought.
Okay,
because of English and that.
Well, thank you for bearing with our silly accents as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't go job all right, Cocker.
he's bringing out the Black Country accent, which is, you don't want to know what the Black Country accent is.
The accent where I live is one of the most hard to figure out English accents possible, I think.
Yeah. Like, where I'm originally from in the UK is only an hour away. Like, it's an hour away, and it's a whole different accent, and I still, to this day, like, his parents have a really thick Black Country accent, and I've lived here for ages, and I still sometimes can't understand what they're saying. Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's like, you won't go, when you meet someone, you say hello to them, you won't, normally you'd be like, are you alright? How you doing?
Hello, how are you? Standard English.
Yeah. Round here, you'll be like, hey up, how am you, Cocker? It's just, it's just immediately like, excuse? What? Most people.
I wouldn't understand a word.
I mean, I barely understand.
Yeah.
I won't keep you any longer, but it was really lovely to meet you. And please tag us in any of the interview clips. We'll make sure to share it on our pages and stuff. And so hopefully we'll get some people to have a look.
Thank you again.